Okay, part two. This is the dough that I just pulled out. Now, yesterday I couldn't do anything, so it was actually, this is the second day it was in the refrigerator. But you can see it's nice and soft. I mean, it's cold. I'm going to leave this out for an hour or two. Should drop down to room temperature, and then we'll put it on the platter to make it. But you can see even in the refrigerator it doubled its size easy. So I will wait for the time to pass, and then I'll turn it back on and we'll start to work it. Okay. Alright, it looks like the dough is ready to be taken out. I mean, this is a fairly simple procedure, but like I said, this is kind of sticky, gooey. I mean, it's not horrible, but I should be able to get it out no problem. The first thing, obviously. Now, don't be too shy with the oil, because it's going to get sucked up into the pizza, so it'll be distributed evenly. And I'm a kind of finger kind of guy, so don't be shy with it. And it doesn't, believe it or not, even with as much oil as that has in it. Alright, I was getting the dough out and then my battery died, so we had to redo it. This is it. It's laid out. And when you first take it out, even though I waited like 45 minutes, sometimes the dough is going to fight you, so I would just let it wait a little longer and just work it out towards the end. When it doesn't fight you, then you know it's ready. So we're just going to push it to the end. And we got some excess oil here. Again, don't worry about the oil. It's all going to get soaked up into the dough. It may look like a lot, but it's not. It's all going to work out. And what we're going to do is, just nice and easy, stretch it out to the ends, to the corners, and you'll be good. Preheating the oven to 550, because that's as high as it'll go. I mean, ideally, I would like it a little hotter, but hey, it's as much as the stove will go. And this is where we're at. That's all. We got it to the end. And we're good. I'm going to cover this for about, I don't know, 20 minutes. Give it a second rise, and this will rise up. Wait, actually, what I should do is flip it. Yeah, so this way it's like that. I'm going to cover it like that, and I'm going to give it about 20 minutes, and then we'll be back prepping a salad. Okay. All right. We just took it from the second rising, and it's going to puff up a little. It's not going to rise, significantly, but you want to cover it so it can do that second, because what it's doing is naturally stretching the dough. And if you're putting it in a hot oven and you didn't do that second rise, it's not going to turn out so well. It may not, because the heat is going to come on it so fast that it may stay low, and you may get sort of a hard middle. And what this does, it expands it. So when you do put it in, the heat will actually keep the shape, not sear the bottom, but cook the bottom and the top. So what I do is, which a lot of people don't, is I put the cheese on first, because you have the oil underneath, and that'll keep it moist. Because the sauce, it's just a different way of doing it, but a lot of people will put the sauce on the bottom, but I think you got more flavor. And also, from the extreme heat, I like to use a low moisture mozzarella, but because I was I wasn't able to get to the store, and Walmart, believe it or not, sells a very decent low moisture mozzarella, because you'll have less moisture in it, so it'll be less watery. However, I wasn't able to get there, so I used the Polio. But when you use the Polio, and I use the whole milk, you don't want to leave the mozzarella out. What you want to do is, I just grated it. You want to grate it right out of the coldest refrigerator you can find. Shred it right away, put it on, and then put the sauce on top and throw it in. Because if you leave it out, it's going to be all milky, and once you throw it in the oven, it's going to bleed like forget it, and it won't have a good. You wind up with mush on top, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So what I do is I just hit it with the sauce on top, and I don't know, it depends on how much sauce you want. I like enough to cover. And also, don't forget, the sauce is going to sort of protect the cheese a little, so the crust can develop. That's why I don't like the cheese on top, especially in a hot oven, a really hot oven. So what this sauce is going to do is act like a layer, a thermal layer, before it hits the cheese, which I think is the magic. Anyway, alright, that just worked out right. Now what that is a half a can of crushed tomatoes that I run through the KitchenAid and get out the seeds and the little oil on top. It gets out the seeds and the skin part from the crushed, and it's just the sauce itself. Some people like to just throw crushed tomatoes on, but I don't know. I don't like that effect, really. And we're just going to pop it in, basically. And we're in a 550 oven that's been, hold on, I'll adjust that. Actually, the beginning I used the middle rack to sort of get it up to temperature, and then towards the end I put it on the top rack. So I'll wait till that happens, and then we'll come back. Alright, I'm going to move this up. Not for long though, because it is cooking real nice. See it? There we go. But we're going to throw it up for a minute or two, just to get some color on the top of the crust. Okay. Alright, it's in about a minute. So we just see it. The cheese is starting to just brown on the edge. And the first thing you want to do is get it the heck out of this pan, because it will, let's see the bottom. Oh yeah, the crust is nice. So you want to get this out. This is sort of a finesse, because if you tip it too far, the everything will move this way. So it's sort of a little bit of a finesse. What you want to do, obviously, is get this as loose as possible, where you feel that if you tip it, it'll move. Boom. And that's where you want it, right there. Put that on the side. And this is here, and you just let it sit. That's it. Once it's on the board, it's okay. It's not cooking anymore. Well, there's a little bit of residual cooking, but it's not cooking from the bottom in the pan, because if we can get a shot of the crust, well, we can't right now. We'll do it later. But this is it. And what I like to do now is throw some salt on it. Salt it first, and then I like to salt it, but that's it, because the salt will enhance the flavor. You know, pepper and stuff changes the flavor, so just a little bit of salt, and then when people get the individual slices, they can sort of put the pepper, the garlic, or whatever they want on it, but just basically salt it. And that's it. That's the end of it. All right, that's it. That's your crust. Nice and light, fluffy, not dense. And that's the bottom, which is a little more well done than I like, but that's just the way it came out, but not a big deal. Yeah, that's the end product. See, like I said, the sauce actually protects the cheese from burning. The outside, obviously, there is no sauce. So you might have a little burn, but I like a little burnt on the crust. But in the middle, if you lay the cheese first and then put the sauce on top, it'll act as a barrier from that heat so it won't be burning itself. And that's it. Okay.